And we're live. Mic check. 1, 2. Everything seems to be going pretty good OBS, so I'm going to assume that there are no issues. So, second original song. This one's been in the works for quite a while. Quite happy to finally have released it. I want to start by saying another warm thank you to all the people who have helped me along the way with this one. So the art was done by Aster Nocturia. The arrangement was done by Flay. He also did the sound design. The mix and master was done by Lycanix. And the recording was done by Inigo Mortel. So without the help of those people, this would not have been possible. And they really helped the project make what it is. So, always grateful for their help. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through, I guess, my end of things. I have a lot to talk about regarding both the composition and the recording aspects of this project. So, actually, you know what? I should probably paste a link to the song that, just in case people haven't seen it, they're tuning into the stream without knowing what it is that we're celebrating, or what it is, where to find the original song. I think I'm just gonna. There we go. Should be good. So, one of the objectives with this project was to, I guess, I wanted to learn how to combine both, I guess, traditional recorded elements with stuff that kind of lives more in the realm of MIDI and samples, and trying to make those two sound like they're coming from the same space, or at least that they sound coherent together. That was kind of the aim with this project. I can't remember how I came up with the title, actually. Oh, wait, no. I do remember how I came up with the title. It's actually a TFT reference. For those of you who know the game Teamfight Tactics, there was an augment in that game about 2 sets ago called Cybernetic Leech, and I think what it did was it gave your units extra omnivamp if they had an item equipped. I think that's what it did. They kind of gave the augment an update in the later sets, and I think now it's called Cybernetic Uplink. But like, I would never take Cybernetic Leech when I was offered it, unless, you know, I was just in the market for generic combat augments. But I think I was in a VC with a friend of mine. He's the guy who I can't remember how the conversation came about, but I was like, Cybernetic Leech, that sounds exactly like a metal song. Because he likes relating the names of augments to the titles of songs. And so I think that's how that came about. I was playing, it must have been set 9 or set 8. I can't even remember which ones I've played before, but that's how I got the title. And so I kind of tried to spin it away from the TFT thing and come up with a narrative for it. I think what I ended up going with narrative-wise was I was thinking about this idea of being in a chamber of, I guess, safety or perpetual sustenance. The idea, like, as long as you're inside the capsule, no harm can overcome you, and you'll, I guess, be blissfully unaware of the happenings of the outside world. And so the song is about a person who watches his friend enter one of these hypothetical devices, and he, well, the narrator of the song struggles with his friend's decision to not come out of the capsule. That's kind of the idea behind the story. But I'm sure people will come up with their own interpretations of the lyrics. I think that's one of the great things about music is we can all kind of relate to a song in a different way than another listener. And that really changes the experience of the song for a person. I'm sure it will mean something different to every listener. But that's kind of that's what it means to me as the person who wrote it. So I ended up playing drums, bass, guitar, and then tracking vocals in that order for the song. And that took about 3 hours, I want to say. I think the most challenging part of this whole project for me was learning to play the fast double bass run at the end. It was really kind of impossible. I had to practice for a long time to be able to do that. And, you know, I wasn't even sure if I could do it on studio day. But I managed to scrape together the best parts of each take, and we were able to turn it into something listenable. So I'm happy with the outcome. So the drum parts, I think, are otherwise rather simple, aside from the double bass run. There are some fills in there that are a little bit strange because of either, I don't want to call it the sticking because it's how I choose to play it with my feet. And not all the fills last the same number of beats, which is something that I wanted to try and implement into my songwriting. I kind of wanted to have different fills throughout all of the verses so that they kind of don't repeat each other. And I feel like that's something I've accomplished in the song. So I'll hit the drum cam really quickly. Or maybe not really quickly, I might be here for a while. So the first kind of, I guess, I don't know how to describe it, backbones of the song is this kind of groove in the verse where it goes, you know, snare on every beat, hi-hat on every beat, or sorry, snare on 1 and 3, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the bass drum is landing on all the spaces that are in between the beat and the middle of the beat. So It sounds like this. That's kind of an odd groove, even though it's in 4/4. It's like all the notes that you expect to be emphasized in different parts of that groove are in the completely wrong place. Sorry, I think I played it wrong a while ago. So, after one of the vocal phrases, that groove speeds up, kind of, so to speak, and the right hand goes from quarter notes to eighth notes. And then we hit the fill, and it goes back into the What's interesting about that part is that the phrases aren't balanced. The phrase lengths aren't balanced, and so neither is the groove. The quarter note part of the groove lasts for twice as long than the eighth note part of the groove. We're about to hit the fill, and then we sit on this for a little bit more. So that was one of the first parts of the song that I wrote, and I was like, this sounds like it could be a song, but I feel like I need to practice it a little bit. Pairing a guitar part was kind of difficult as well. I wanted to keep it simple actually, because the drums are already kind of strange enough as it is, so I felt like there might be too much going on. I kind of wanted to have a contour of different levels of complexity throughout the song, but I did want the song to remain relatively simple so that it would be easier to track, to play all the parts for it. Which is not an approach I took with Vagabond, for sure, my first original song. That one was really difficult on every front. Not that Cybernetic Leech wasn't difficult. If anything, the difficulty of the song was remembering the form, because there are little places where the guitar riff deviates from all the other iterations of that part, like in the first verse. I think I'll get to that when I talk about the bass and the bass and the guitar stuff. So after the first verse, it kind of jumps into this fast section where we have a beat that's relatively easy to play, but somewhat hard to get right in the studio, in the pocket, and how would I say, clean. It's actually a little bit difficult in terms of coordination, but all it is, it's eighth notes, I believe, on the bass drum and on the right hand, on the hi-hat. And a snare drum hit in between the beats. Or in between every hit. Of course, that is made a little bit trickier by the fact that the song doubles in tempo when that groove comes in. So we're kind of used to this feel at first, or right? And then fill. Song doubles in speed. Fill. You know. That's one of my favorite parts of the song. I really enjoyed kind of practicing and playing that part. And I liked writing the fills for that section as well. So there's 2 crash hits there. And then the second fill in that section is a little bit longer than the first. A little bit slower. Got the crash hit. So yeah. After that fill, we go into kind of this section where it's just quarter notes on the bass on the drums. And I like that the song speeds up and slows down very suddenly. It can be difficult to play. It can actually be a little bit tricky to play quarter notes. That might sound unintuitive, but since we're used to holding down the groove as drummers with Smash G is here. Hello. How are you doing? I'm talking about a song that I just released. And I'm kind of talking through drum parts right now. I think I'll get to the bass parts and the guitar parts and maybe the vocals in a bit. Maybe I'll talk about how it was going in the studio. Kind of what's going on this stream. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, there's this like quarter note beat down section that I like to call it. We hit a fill and then we go back into the verse, which is that strange groove where all the notes are in the wrong place. But then the fills for verse 2 in particular are quite strange, I think. I actually still kind of struggle playing them on a practice pad. I wrote the song and I can't even play the part. I can't even remember. It was actually kind of a while ago that I recorded the song, and so it might have been a while. I might need to review some of those parts. Just record something and then you forget how to play it. You really need to refresh your memory, but going into the studio also makes you better at playing the material that you nailed. So in some ways, going to the studio really solidifies the things that you did well. Also, like, your brain kind of crunches all this stuff that you didn't really do well. And that fill was one of them for me. I'm gonna see if I can plug in my bass guitar. I think it's actually kind of difficult to talk about the drum parts and the bass separately, because I feel like, at least on the recorded side of things and the compositional side of things, the drums and the bass are the most important element. Aside from all the electronic elements of Flay's arrangement, of course. Those, I think, are a huge, huge part of how the song sounds. When it comes to the live instruments, the ones that don't really get much attention normally. First, I should tune up. That I'm actually. I'm using this chord tuner. I like this tuner. I like that it has an input jack. That just makes the signal a little bit cleaner. So you get a little bit more accurate tuning. Of course, I think the most accurate is with the pedal, but I don't actually have a tuning pedal. I don't own one. This is the next best thing, I suppose. Hope this doesn't peak. I actually haven't sound checked this. Is that coming through at all? Yeah, I think that should be loud enough for the stream to hear. Can I just say that this is a really fun bass line to play? I'll get the drum cam out of the way. You can kind of see what frets I'm hitting. It's all on the E string. Very fun, very fun. I feel like I was able to do pretty well on the bass track in this project. It was actually the only track that I nailed the first time, and I just did the whole bass track in one take. I did that right after tracking drums, but tracking drums took a couple of takes, especially during the fast part, the breakdown, I guess. I usually record bass directly into the interface, or well, that's what Inigo chooses to do. I don't think he has any bass amps in the studio, or I should ask him. He might, but usually bass directly into the interface and a VST plugin is usually enough for our type of music. Yeah. I guess something else about the bass in that song is that Play also chose to add a lot of sub bass elements, or bass, I guess, not substitutes, but the word is alternatives. There are a lot of sounds in the arrangement that occupy the same space as the live recorded bass, and so Laika kind of had to choose which of those elements should occupy the space at that given point the song. And I feel like he did a great job of kind of making sure that the low end of the song as a whole is balanced. I actually haven't practiced this in a while. But I was able to play it on the day that I went into the studio, so I suppose all is well that ends well. I would say that this bass line is the main idea of the song, right? But in every other kind of heavy metal song where the song is built on a main riff or an idea, it usually appears kind of after the chorus, I think, or in the intro, or some point where there's no vocals, so that the listener's attention is directed to the riff. But I think this song is also a little bit strange because the main riff reappears in the verse, just with a little bit of variation, because it has this extra extension, or the little bit of extra lyrics that I'm singing. So, yeah. kind of just a chromatic ascent, skipping F sharp, going back to E, back to the hammer-on pull-off idea. The song has a very odd form, and I don't mean odd as in like time signature odd or odd. I meant kind of weird and wacky and strange, odd. The sections don't repeat themselves. So after the first verse, we kind of have this fast section, right? But then that doesn't come back after the second verse. Instead, we just skip straight to the yeah, that part of it. I also like that I don't know how to say it. The next time this section comes back in the song, where the bass line goes like this, also one of my favorite parts in the song. Usually, or not usually, the first time that happens, we have kind of the quarter note groove going on with the drums. Kind of adds to the marching, I guess, sense of this song. Just have that going along. Boom, tack, boom, tack, boom, tack, boom, tack. But then the second time around, we have this. I don't know how to describe this groove. This double bass groove with a couple of grace notes at the start of each, or not a couple of grace notes, one grace note. It's in a different place in every other measure, but the way I played it, the right foot takes most of the load because it's playing a double every measure. Here it is. And again. The other thing about this groove is that the ride bell is syncopated. There isn't a timekeeping symbol on every beat. It's kind of the ding ding dun dun ding dun, kind of like that. And for that fill, we're actually playing, I want to say quarter note quintuplets. Like it's 5 notes evenly spaced across 2 beats, and then the breakdown, the fast double bass part lands on the 3rd beat. So it goes, if here's the click, A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E A. I kind of have to, I had to get into the groove of saying letters, but that's kind of the feel. A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E A B C D E ta A B C D E ta. So that goes first. It's across the high tom and the mid tom. That's the first hit. Second hit is the mid tom and the floor tom. the third hit is on the snare drum, and going back around to high toms, and then lower tom. Hit the breakdown. I can't really play that fast on this setup because I'm not getting rebound from the bass drum. Or, you know, I'm making excuses, I suppose. I guess if I was a little bit better at drums, I could probably give it a shot. But this isn't actually the pedal that I tracked with. This is just a cheap pedal that I wanted to get for the desk setup. Not exactly ideal. I can't actually crank up the spring tension on one, but it's good enough for single hits to practice grooves while I'm sitting at my computer. Fun song to drum, I think. Perhaps I should go over the lyrics really quickly. Or maybe I'll just leave them be. I think I did 2 vocal takes and I asked mechanics to choose, or not choose, like, I asked Inigo to choose which one he thought was the better take, and then the extra take as, I guess, I don't know how to describe it. One of the takes was the main take, and one of them was just to have in the back pocket in case something. What I want to do is actually try and play some of these guitar parts. But I haven't plugged in my into my interface in a while, so I need to figure out how that goes. We'll see. Hold on. Probably also turn off the transmitter on my wireless systems are cool. They're great when playing live. I should mute. Actually, I really should make use of the input monitoring feature on OBS. Making any noise. Audio property, monitoring. I don't know if the sound is coming through at all. I should unmute. Okay, now I'm sure that the clean signal is coming through. But I'm not sure that the amp sim is heard over the stream. Oh, that's better. Way better. We're getting signal now. Not that I was hearing it. Oh, Been a while since I picked up a guitar. I should get the drum cam out of the way. This was the guitar that I used to record in the studio. I actually wrote that riff a long time ago. I think this particular riff. I think I've had that for about, I want to say 7 years or so. Just been in the library, not gotten to use it. But I think it's a great riff. Now the thing about the chromatic ascent after this part, it starts with an E power chord, but then it goes in major thirds up the neck. So we've got F and A here, then G and B, G sharp and, if you want to call it, or let's just say it's G and B, A flat and C, A and C sharp, B and sharp. It goes all the way up to A and C sharp, and it goes back. That part. But it was a bit tricky to learn how to play because you're using your ring finger and your little finger to play the thirds. But when you go to the first fret, you're only using your pointer finger. So it's a little bit difficult coordination-wise. And a little bit of that extension kind of falls into place during the verse. But we don't complete it, and we just go back to the lyrics. Oops. I haven't played guitar in a while. I feel like I'm out of shape. Ever so... Or maybe not even ever so... I feel like I need to practice to de-rust. I would still consider myself primarily a guitar player, but I just haven't been playing the instrument at all lately. If anything, I've been spending the most time practicing, because that instrument is so difficult. I feel like guitar, bass, and drums there's a lot of room for error because the motions are bigger. And you have to maintain more strict timing because the band is depending. As when you're a guitar player, you're a bass player, sometimes you can coast by allowing yourself to lock in with the drummer. But the drummer doesn't have that same level of reliance on the players, especially if you're in a setting without something like stage monitors or in-ear monitors where you really just can't hear your bandmates, but they can hear you. Very tricky. So sometimes the drummer has to play without being able to hear his bandmates, and it's always difficult as well. I like that riff too. I just forgot. I forgot what I just played. I guess if I ever wanted to remember, I would rewatch the VOD. That was kind of cool. I wonder if that sounds like a... Maybe I should write a song on stream. That'd be an interesting... little bit of what, Mixolydian nonsense. I don't know what I'm doing. I was pretty happy with both the guitar tones and the drum tones that we got video in Inigo. On the final mix and master, the drums ended up sounding quite organic, especially the kick. I was surprised that like Hannah was able to retain the sound of the kick. Make it sound natural and organic, but also big in the mix. Not sure how he did that. I'm a little bit curious. Yeah, but the guitar tones I'm really happy with. Me and Inigo ended up using I would find it a fascinating combination of gear. You might not, but I don't know, I'm a gearhead. So we did the recording. Guitar. Stock pickups, I think this is an Ibanez IR 70 FD. It's a model that they is around the time when I picked it up. Kind of a new model at that time. It was on a discount, so it was a great deal. Great guitar, hardtail, so low maintenance. Absolute workhorse, stays in tune. I like this guitar. I think the stock pickups on it are DiMarzio, if I'm not mistaken. But I could get fact checked. We're going through. Well, first, the signal was hitting my overdrive pedal, which is a 9. I don't have it at the moment. But the reason I like recording at Ego Studio is because he has a pretty wide selection of both amplifiers and speakers, cabinet speakers. So there are a lot of different sounds that we can achieve with just the gear that he has in his isolation booth. And so we opted to go with it's a PV6505 Plus was the amp that we were using. And that was connected to a cabinet that was loaded with Eminence Red Fangs, which is a speaker that I haven't tried before. It was kind of one of those speakers that's meant to imitate like vintage guitar tones. It was discontinued some time ago, but it was one of the alternatives to the Celestian Blue. Celestian being the main manufacturer of guitars. Oh, wait, this sounds cool. Oh. That's the... I believe that's the Phrygian dominance. I just had a flashback to a jazz standard that I was learning in... Or that my friends were learning in school that I was listening in on. I think they were trying to learn Caravan. And the professor advised them to use a scale that sounded similar. Specifically when they were improvising over the first chord in the chart, I think. If my memory serves me well, which it might not. I feel like my improv goes in the same direction every time. I'm actually getting... Over the years, I've gotten kind of bored of playing guitar, even though it's an instrument. Because... I don't know. I feel like I always just go up and down the strings in this pattern. Just changing the scale, and kind of sounds all the same to me. Challenging to come up with new material on the guitar. But I would definitely say that it's the instrument I have the most facility on. I guess I know just enough guitar to be able to play that I like. It's good enough for me. But yeah. Oh, I should probably mention Ego used an Audix i5. Oh, what's up, Oyster? Hold on. Master's message. Should reply. While you make dinner? Nice. Dinner's great. I need to figure out how to get a link to my own. Alright, I'll just keep yapping away. Good. Oh. Yeah, but as I was saying, I was really happy with the guitar tones we got from that set of gear. I think Inigo's favorite mic, the Audix i5, and it's kind of a flat microphone. I think he likes it because it captures, I guess, the authentic sound of whatever pointing the thing at. That was kind of our approach to. But that's why he likes that microphone, right? And so we kind of were able to achieve like an old school vintage 80s kind of tone, which is something I'm a big fan of. But yeah. I really like that the guitar tone on that track is very focused on the bottom end, very precise, and it kind of doesn't leave a lot of mud when I play kind of the chuggy notes in some of the riffs. Of course, I'm playing through an amp sim right now, which is on my desktop, and it's not close to the sound of what's on the record at all, but I just have it on so that I can play guitar on stream. You know, I quite like that riff, but I think some time ago I showed it to a friend and he was like, I think that's kind of boring. I was like, oh, is that really what you think? I was like, I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool. And anyways, I ended up putting a whole song to it, building a song around. Pretty happy with the results. The pick drags don't really come through on this amp sim at all. Actually, they're kind of hard to achieve. I need a little bit more gain. The sim. But that was another part of the breakdown that I was pretty... Or not breakdown, but like... The beatdown section that I was a really big fan of was the placement of these pick drags. Of course, that's a very Gojira inspired sound. And Gojira is one of my favorite bands. Good influence where find them. Okay, I'm wandering. Mine is wandering too much. A lot of the drum tones also surprised me. As I was saying a while ago, I think Lycanex managed to put or to keep the, I guess, the native signal in the, and it still sounds good. But you know, I was asking myself, oh, are these raw stems really, are they really good enough? But the first draft of Lycanex's mix that he sent me kind of answered that with a resounding yes. Very happy about. Oh, cool. In mix regular old drums. They sound great with electronic elements. My other worry was that the drums would sound odd with human senses of timing when put together with quantized elements, but Lycanex assured me that that would be completely okay, and sent me the first draft, and I was like, yeah, okay, I trust. I believed. Well, I believed him before before he sent me the first draft. Good morning. Wait, Lou, did you just wake up? I'm not non-stop running my mouth about a song that I just... You did not just wake up? Morning to you then, sir. Oh. Whole volume's kind of low. It might not be you. Is it the mic that's low? Because I think the guitar sounds pretty okay. I think if I talk directly into the mic, we're good. But I haven't found a workaround for that yet. I think I just have to point my face at the mic. But let me try increasing the gain anyway. A cuke. Decibels. Is that better? Slightly better? Anyways, yeah, I just released a song. Pretty happy with it. No question mark? What question mark? I feel like I got like carried by everybody else who was working on the song. No lie. Maybe it's just other videos being loud. Maybe. Because you usually have headphones, speakers, and they're pretty loud normally. It might be on my end. I don't know how the audio is coming through. It seemed okay on some of the previous streams that I've done, as in you don't wear them. I see. Like you wear them around your neck, or you put them on the table or something along the... I adjusted the gain on my preamp. No, just on the table. Maybe that's just not the ideal listening situation. Just between you and me. Boom. It's not? I gotta say, this song kinda kicked my ass. Some of the parts on it were pretty difficult. Specifically, the last part of the song where I'm just kind of racing on the double bass pedal. I was not able to do that up until the day of the studio. And even then, I feel like it took a lot of takes to get it quite right. But I'm happy that I was able to practice to get up to that speed and then record something that's listenable in the day. I feel like that's no small feat, but also no medium feat. I don't know what kind of feat it is. Some kind of feat, maybe. Anyways, I'm happy with it. The other kind of tricky part about the song, or the drums, was this one fill that goes like around the kit but also around the limbs. Okay, you need to increase Chrome's volume somehow, or wear your headphones, maybe. Yeah, I think headphones are meant to be worn. That's crazy. Yeah, I like that song. And I also like what Flay did with it. He's the guy who did the sound design and the arrangement for all the electronic elements in the song. Um, I feel like we were vaguely inspired by like Doom, or like a little bit of old school Doom and a little bit of new school Doom, which I think is very much in the ballpark of what we were shooting for. I am quite happy with that. And of course, Lycanix glued everything together. The final mix just gave each of those elements its own space to exist in the mix. So the thing feels huge, I think. The soundtrack, I mean. I need to check that the gain filter that I have on my microphone is applying across all the OBS scenes so that my mic suddenly doesn't become quieter when I go to the drum cam or when I go to the regular old webcam. Peace. Yeah, I should plug this in. I forgot to close my, what's it called now? I'm losing it. My amp sim. My guitar amp sim. Just gonna lurk for a bit. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Need to get some things done. Sounds like a plan. Good luck with the good luck with all the things that you need to get done. Always appreciate it. I'm gonna play some bass. My audio interface only has two inputs. One of them is for the microphone, so oh, Aster is messaging me. I did not notice. I'm so sorry. I will just use the bathroom very quickly and then get to. They're going to call Aster. Bit. Be right back. There we are. Okay, we're back. And joining us here is Aster Nocturia. Am I saying that right? Aster Nocturia. Yeah. Larger Fujitech. Yeah, it's moving. Okay. Put here. That way it looks like you're actually at a desk and not like a floating head. Whoa, no. That's some voodoo magic. And not the Jimi Hendrix kind. Ooh. Okay. You know the song Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix? Okay, I don't either. I don't know why I asked. Okay. Mhm. 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 That's a drawing tablet. Mhm, mhm, mhm. It's not a Switch with no Joy-Cons. I would be holding a Switch with no Joy-Cons. Hold on a second. Wait, hold on. Here it is. Remove these things. Wait, I maybe do an Aster impression. Wait. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh! Wait. I gotta get the angle right. Now I need to get something to draw with. This is. Am I doing it right? This is the closest object in my vicinity to a pencil. Okay, if my drumstick had a thermal nylon tip, do you think I would be able to draw with it on an actual drawing tablet? Maybe, possibly. No, I see. Mhm, 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 mhm. Cool. I gotta say, I'm actually a really big fan of the art. I was really happy with the how it turned out. As mhm. Questions. Um, I wouldn't know where to start because I don't know how to formulate the questions that I need to ask to get the answers that I'm looking for. So here's the plan. You just talk me about the process because I'm very curious. Sure. I mean, I've been rambling for what? 50 minutes? I'm just nonstop. Go ahead. Go ahead. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Right. Mhm. Ooh. Okay. Mhm, 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 mhm. I'm trying to figure out how to show it on stream, but OBS is not my first language. I think I got it though. How would you suggest sharing it? And add it as a source. There we go. Oh, okay. This. Yeah, we'll try this one. Oh gosh, it's gigantic. Hold on a minute. There we go. There. There we go. Mhm. Cool. Oh, really? Oh. Wait, I think I see it now. There. Let's zoom in on it. Get a glimpse of this. It's this thing. Over there in the corner. Cool. I didn't notice that. Oh, okay. Two and two have been put together. I see. Mhm, mhm. Oh, they won't be able to. Or at least they have to make a very convincing imitation of the watermark, which is not all that uh I mean it sounds like it's difficult work. Not condoning impersonation, that's what we don't do that. Oh, oh no, I'm scared. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my gosh. For for illegal reasons, it's a joke. But for not no, no not just for legal reasons, but I think there's some truth to that statement. I believe that Aster is licensed by the government to operate a bow and arrow. I believe that. That's really cool. Oh, I see, I see. So competitively or like at just a hobby? Hmm. 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 I see. There, I think I figured out the best layout. Or I don't know. It'll do. It'll do. Yes. You know the person or the android, I should say, inside the cell. It kind of reminds me of Atom from Real Steel. He's like the movie Real Steel was about huge metal robots boxing each other, and the main protagonist's robot looks something like what you see inside the cell or the capsule. To me. Mhm. Oh, good movie. Mhm. 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 Ooh, is he sleeping? I mean, the glowing eyes kind of made me think he was kind of awake, or at least, well, maybe not conscious, but um, in some state between sleeping and waking, somewhere else. Maybe somewhere else that's not even on that axis. Really cool stuff. Yeah. Ooh, one of the questions I actually wanted to ask was, um, did knowing what the song was about give any direction to the artwork? Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, this is true. Mm-hmm. I see. So the reason I ask is because as a person who's only done a few, or maybe, well, I don't even know if two is like a few, but as a person who hasn't done very many projects at all, I'm not really sure what information is salient to artists that would kind of help them, or how do I phrase it? What tends to be the most useful information about a project that a client can give? Hmm. 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 I don't believe you. I think you read my mind completely. I don't know how it happened, but I feel like you did. Okay. Are you sure you didn't just download my entire consciousness and be like, "Oh, this is exactly what he imagines himself as the person inside the cell, therefore we will draw him how he sees himself in the world." Not really. Okay. I believe you. Right. Mhm. 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 Right. Mhm. 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 I suppose we all do. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, ask for revision pictures, as in, no, not revision, sorry, progress pictures, because um, showing the progress the artist made, and even if the artist didn't make any progress at the moment you're asking for them, don't worry, like, don't take it too hard. We are human and we have lives. We can not have worked on the specific piece for a while sometimes. So it can happen.
Mhm.
And, you know, well, the main thing I ask to commissioners is just consider that we artists are humans.
Mhm.
for the most part at least,
What do you mean
because
for the most part?
I refuse to believe some real artists. I'm not calling artificial intelligence an artist, by the way. I'm thinking about some artists that, oh my god, their works are godly. I do not
Ooh.
believe they are human.
Yeah, there's just no
Uh,
way.
above us.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah. So, um, treat us like you would any other person in a way. As in,
Mhm.
of course, treat any other person like shit. First of all, fuck
Oh,
you. Second of all, why do you treat other people like shit?
it's
Third
like
of all,
it's just because
I
that
don't want to
person's
work with
in.
you.
Oh, that is all true. All of that is true. I'm so sorry, but I think
Don't be a
I.
jerk.
No, not. I'm not. I think you might have been muted the whole time, and I just unmuted you like 2 minutes ago.
What?
Yep. At least on stream, I think I had desktop audio muted, and no
Huh?
one told me.
Oh, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Um, trying. Can people hear me?
I I don't know because I don't think we're streaming to anyone in particular. Like
Oh,
it's actually like a zero viewer stream.
okay.
Or
No,
think of
if
it as a zero viewer stream, effectively zero viewer stream. So
no, there's three people watching.
one of them is me, and two of them might be my parents who don't know how to chat. I don't know.
Wait, one of them is someone else because one of them is me.
One of them is me, and one of them is you. It's like it's literally fine.
I had to check the volume. Oh my god. Yeah, still
Right.
be a be a jerk. Like that's the main thing I ask commissioners.
Don't
Be
be a jerk.
patient, and if you
Mhm.
have any revision to ask for within the limit, of course, the limit given by the artist, given on complexity, etc., because some revisions, um, like junk. Imagine you
Mhm,
ask
mhm,
me to know take the mechanical arm, the one
mhm,
showing right now on
mhm.
the one at the
This one?
point, etc., and to yeah, the the one on the top left, kind of the one with the point,
Mhm.
the one with the pointing, etc.
Yep.
If you ask me to, I don't know, um modify the position, like instead of it
Oh,
being pointed upwards, pointed through towards
towards the subject.
the chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, that wouldn't have been a big revision. However, if you ask me to change the subject into Hatsune Miku and make everything pink and yellow, yeah,
Yeah. No.
consider this commission. You're going to pay the full price again because I have to do another work. Like if for like consider the revisions you're asking for. The if the artist permits a certain number of simple revisions, like if
Mhm,
for a revision an art charges you some extra money, like do not be mad
mhm.
because some revisions, like I don't know, changing the perspective, you could think that, oh, but you just have to use the perspective tool.
Mm,
It's not just that, because sometimes, yeah, it can work. However, sometimes you have to modify a lot of stuff. If I had to change the perspective of this work, I would have
right.
had to modify the chamber, modify the subject, modify the arms, modify the background, modify the floor,
Mhm,
modify the thing the capsule is lying on, and so
mhm.
on and so on and so on, because there are many elements. If I had to move the chamber, like, I don't know, a bit forward, it wouldn't have been much ideal. However,
Mhm.
if I had to rotate it, like
Oh,
turn it towards the
towards the
turn it
camera.
more towards the towards the camera, that would have been hell. I'm not even
Right.
joking. That would have been hell. Like just speaking scenarios like
Hmm.
uh revisions take work.
Right.
Like some revisions take less, some revisions take more.
Hmm.
So if you ever plan on commissioning an artist, like just remember that their work needs to be paid. We're not working for free.
Hmm.
Some of us
Right.
need this money to eat.
We all need
Not
money to
me.
eat.
Yes, but some artists do not have art being an artist as their first job.
Oh, I see. I see.
So yeah, and some other are full freelance artists. Usually they charge a bit more too because you know
Hmm.
they're doing full time and
Right.
that's their work.
Hmm.
They work with that.
Do you like to
So yeah.
give the stream, or the viewers? Would you like to tell the viewers where they can find you in your commission page again? Since you were muted a while ago.
Oh sure. I am Eastern Noctur. I am at Eastern Nocturia, all um in full. Uh, like the name is Eastern
Astral
Nocturia, all
Nocturia.
connected
Hmm.
on Twitter
Hmm.
and on Instagram. I will. Can I put my card
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
into the? I'll put it through the.
Into the chat it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. If you want to add it in description, feel free.
Oh yeah, I should do that. That's a great idea. I think I only added your Twitter and the Twitters of all the people who
It's
were
fine.
involved.
It's fine because my Twitter has my card either way.
I see.
So
Right.
I'm just putting the card in the chat. Here is the card, which has, which is the equal. It's equivalent to Twitter. Um,
Hmm.
eh, from anywhere you can find, like the card is basically all of my accounts, which directs to Twitter,
Hmm.
where you can be directed to the card. So
I don't think I'm seeing it pop up in the chat.
it should be there in a second.
Hmm.
Maybe it's
Be a bit
loading.
of latency. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it pops up sooner rather than later. Or well, later is fine. We'll take later. Keep accidentally knocking over the secondary camera with the headstock of my base. Thankfully we weren't on that scene, but I think I'm doing some real damage to my second webcam.
Oh my god.
I could
Rip
just go.
webcam.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So a while ago I was going over uh in circles the musical parts or the musical aspects of the song. I actually have a question. Did you listen to the song? I know the final version of it wasn't
Yes.
kind of wasn't available until literally right now.
A few months ago. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I listened it and I have to say that it's kind of vintage. It's a vintage sound in a way.
Yeah.
It sounds like an old song, which
Mhm.
is not bad actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's kind of odd though because it has all those modernized elements that both
Mm,
Play and Leica so painstakingly worked on. I think it sounds like the vintage elements of it and the electronic elements of the song are going on in the same room, which is great. The mix to me feels very cohesive.
mm. Yes,
I have them to
it
thank for
really
that.
does. Probably the reason it sounds a bit old, um, you know, like um, original rock and metal, the one
Hmm.
you play on stage,
Hmm.
is probably because if I recall, you used a live band. or live instruments for it?
Yeah. So all of the
What's that?
instruments were, I think, a big reason why we're able to achieve the vintage sound is because that's the style of my producer. Well, I don't want to say my producer because he produces a lot of people. I'm just one of the people that goes to him for production. Uh, and we do things the old school way. Track everything in layers, no samples on the drum kit.
Mm.
We use real amps. Um, the bass guitar we record directly into an interface, but aside from that, everything else is live off of the floor. And
Hmm.
so my producer, keep saying my producer, Inigo Mortel. Inigo is very much steeped in the genre of music we call OPM, or well, it stands for Original Philippine Music. And back in the 70s and 80s, that was a very rock and roll influenced genre. So if you could imagine like bands like Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix, um, plus I guess the what's the word I'm looking for? Not intricacies. The word is escaping me. The idiosyncrasies of the Filipino people plus that type of soundscape. That's the kind of genre of music that Inigo produces. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I actually am pretty happy with how the the drums especially turned out on the track. I was a bit worried that um maybe I didn't play well enough on the drum tracks when I sent them over, and I was like, oh no, is it gonna are the raw stems good enough? Was the question that I was so anxiously awaiting an answer to while waiting for Mechanic's first draft. And I heard the first draft and I was like, oh my gosh, the drums sound great. I was worried about the drums. But yeah, like Anix managed to keep the authenticity of that recording, I think, while making it stand out in the mix, which is great. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in modern production where everything is replaced by a sample or a VST plugin that just mimics real drums, but still doesn't feel like a human played it.
Hmm. It really depends on the genre,
Hmm.
personally speaking, because
Yeah.
the genre usually influences. Because if you're speaking about a more technological genre or more modern, like trap
Hmm.
or EDM and so on,
Hmm.
um, since they are considering considering mainly EDM and techno music or anything you'd have at a disco right now.
Hmm.
Um, Usually they are made out by samples because they are meant. Sometimes they're meant to be played live by a DJ.
Hmm.
So the DJ has a lot of samples and plays them while
Hmm.
on stage. However, for other media like rock,
Hmm.
punk rock,
Oh, punk rock
and
especially.
metal, punk rock is extremely um, influenced by, it's the whole garage band
Yeah,
sort of
the
music.
whole do-it-yourself aesthetic,
So
and that being,
exactly,
I guess, a core tenet of that culture is, you know, will have the power to do things on their own,
yeah,
so they will, in whatever the means they have available to them, which does not include samples. But sometimes I do think
exactly,
samples can sound pretty good. I'm not opposed
yeah.
to working with samples, even in a live recording. Uh, Especially if we don't like have access to an amazing sounding drum room, because a lot of the sound of the drums actually comes from the room. Like the room is more important. Well, it's really, really important in a recording because you, when you play the drums, you have a mic that's like capturing the initial attack of the drums, but you also have a mic in the back of the room that's capturing all the reflections that the drums sound is making off of the walls. And that's like a huge, huge part of any drum recording. Because the wall will change, or the room that you're in changes how the drums come across. It's like imagine that your room is a giant EQ filter plug-in, and it's like the most important one in that chain. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yeah, that makes sense because some sample, I mean, I understand that the samples can be very good, and they agree on that because some samples are recorded very well. They're made to be used, um, and they're recorded with real instruments, maybe
Mhm.
like all samples, but they take care of more things.
Mhm. I do remember last we spoke, you were trying to get into like using a free DAW.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
Yes. And right now I barely have the time to draw actually.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah. I have my finals in about 2 months.
Oh my, good luck.
Then yeah, I'll be looking for a for college, and
My,
yeah.
how's that going?
So
If you don't mind my asking.
school. Oh, school is going. It's going. I should
It's
be
going.
able to finish the year. So
That's always good.
um, looking for university slash college. I'm most likely going to do art major, painting and
Hmm.
figurative studies.
Hmm.
Not going to say the school because I will,
Right, right, right.
if I do it, I will dox myself. So
Yeah, please
I
don't.
don't want that to happen. And so yeah, I'm right now quite full through school because it's basically May, and usually May it's the fullest month.
I
You
see.
have all of the tests, all of the projects coming to an
Projects, all
end.
the schoolwork, the whole course load is in the month of May
I'm,
in your
I'm
academic
literally
year.
studying history right now. I'm
Oh
literally
my
studying
gosh.
history while we.
While sitting
Yeah.
in the. We're not distracting you at all, are we?
No,
Okay.
like I'm just rereading some parts because I usually work through highlight some text and then go over the text
Hmm.
in case I'm too lazy. I just read uh through the through the through a synopsis,
Hmm.
a synthesized version the of the stuff that's on the book. So
Hmm.
I'm you're not distracting me. Don't worry.
Do you find that studying in an environment that I don't know other people would find maybe distracts them, does that help you? Like, do you feel like studying in a VC is just as helpful as studying in a library or in a quiet place or at your desk or whatever?
I just study because I have to study. I do not care where I study.
Does
It's just I'm desperate.
you just need to put in
This
some
is
kind of minutes?
desperation speaking. So yeah, I want to. It's because I want to do stuff that I enjoy doing while I also need to do stuff, and I kind of merge the two things.
Mhm. So you are you the kind of person who kind of needs that sort of other stimulus to be in the background for you to be able to study? Like, can you study in a quiet place without like watching YouTube or being in a VC with friends or whatever.
I I can study in a quiet place, just I can't usually do it because I also want to talk and stuff.
Sense.
That's why.
I don't know. I've never tried studying. I've never tried studying in a quiet place.
Studying in a quiet place can help when you're through when you're in a rush, but
Hmm.
if you're not, I mean, I am in a rush because I have the test tomorrow, but I
Oh
learned how
wow.
to study with others, so I have
Okay, I'll
learned.
take your word for it.
I'm
But man, I'm also sorry to just spin off completely, but I'm really happy with the guitar tones that Inigo and I were able to achieve on this record. Actually, to your point about the sound being very vintage, I think it's a lot of it has to do with the gear that he and I decided to use. He has a bunch of, I guess, speakers and cabinets and amps and stuff. And we decided to go with a guitar speaker that was actually intended to replicate like the old vintage British style sound. And that had a huge effect on the tone. For those curious, the speaker was the Eminence Red Fang, and it was discontinued, I think, in 2004. So I don't know how he got his hands on three. Like, I don't know where he finds his gear. I need to ask him, cause it sounds great. I was really happy with the sounds that we got. I don't assume that I'm going to be able to get my own copy of not copy, but like my own Eminence Red Fang. But it's whatever. Wait, this isn't plugged in. Or maybe I should just play the guitar because it's already plugged in. But I think I've already gone over all the parts. Um, just yapping about the song for 50 minutes earlier in the stream. You have any questions about the music?
what? I haven't heard that. Sorry.
Oh,
Can-
did you have any curiosities or anything about the music that you wanted to ask?
Not really.
Okay, that's cool. Because if not, then I think we can wrap it up pretty soon. Because I think we went over, or unless there's anything else you want to add, but I think we
I don't really
basically
have
covered
anything
everything.
much to add.
Yeah. And you should probably get to studying without some random person yapping about vintage gear or whatever.
Vintage gear is cool though.
Is yeah, but so is modern gear. I don't know, gear is just cool. I like wasting my money. Uh, yeah. I think we can wrap it up here. Thank you so much for hopping onto the stream. I really appreciate it. And thanks for agreeing to this commission. Thanks for the art. Big
Thank you for
thanks.
commissioning me, and really great thanks for inviting me to the stream.
No worries. Right, I think that's going to be all for us today. I'll
Yeah.
see you guys. I'm going to end the stream here.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.